Professional Liars and Actors. June 26, 2019 by Anna von Reitz. There was a day in my childhood when I realized that adults lie. This was a staggering revelation to me at age 5. My own mother had lied to me about Santa Claus. Now, to be sure, she didn't make a habit of lying to me or to anyone else, but she did make an exception about Santa Claus, a lapse that I never fully forgave her for. It isn't that I cared that much about fat red elves in ridiculous costumes fitting down chimneys and leaving presents under dead trees. All that struck me as bizarre then and still does now. No, it was the fact that my mother, an adult, lied to me. She betrayed my trust in her word. I suppose it was all her loss and my gain, because I never took anyone or anything at face value again. Any blind trust in authority figures died that day. If my mother could lie, so could the president. So, when I heard that the State of Alaska Troopers Academy in Sitka, Alaska, was teaching State of Alaska troopers how to lie, literally, requiring coursework in the subject, I didn't bat an eyelash. Instead, I marked the names and faces of those responsible for this addition to the curriculum as criminals. Only criminals depend on lies and deceit. Honest men, including honest policemen, tell the truth and seek the truth whatever comes, but criminals, liars, and thugs, now that's a different thing. When policemen are being trained to lie, we should all know what to think and what to expect from them. They are being told by their higher-ups that this is okay, that this is even expected of them, and they may even believe the sad old excuse that it's a matter of national security, though anyone dumb enough to be a dishonest policeman in the first place probably doesn't have the brains to ask, which nation? What kind of security? And that's another thing I found out at the same time. Guys were being turned away from the Trooper Academy if their IQ was too high. Anyone above 110 could be turned down. So, we have policemen with loaded guns out there making split-second decisions about law and danger and lives and the public good, who can barely read, who are being taught to lie, who are misdirected, and scared. As another part of their new curriculum, they are being taught that there are all sorts of dangerous organized political extremists, including, by definition, non-existent, sovereign citizens out to get them, on top of gangs, bank robbers, drug addicts, and plain old drunks and murderers. Doesn't that sound like a perfect storm? Dishonest police of limited intelligence, armed to the teeth, and scared silly. The public is being harmed by being endangered instead of protected, and the police who are being hung out to dry, are in no better position. All this rot is coming from the CIA and NSA and DHS and FBI and BATF and DARPA and DIA and all the other quasi-government security services that are supposed to be keeping us safe. They are all being trained the same way and fed the same Kool-Aid, and the leaders past and present of these organizations are out there proudly admitting to it, too. Ex-CIA, NSA Chief Michael Hayden had a whole PBS special talking about post-truth America. He sat there fat and plump as a pimple on national television, happy as a pig in his own slop, describing how lies are the new reality. Actually, Michael, no, they aren't. Lies are nothing new. And they are certainly not reality. They are just the same old lies coming from the same old place, the father of all lies. The only hard part is that you and your cohorts are on the public payroll spreading this garbage, and some people never learned the truth about Santa Claus. They actually follow your orders. They actually look up to you and trust you and believe you, and you, well, you are nothing but a lying immoral sack of used cottage cheese. That's the truth about Michael Hayden, and unfortunately, also about John Bolton and Mike Pompeo. They are all on the record saying that it is smart and good to lie, condoning it in public, and they are all stupid enough to think that that is fine and dandy, because they have been trained by other liars and actors who came before them, FDR, Winston Churchill, et al. That's how they keep alive. That's how they get ahead. They lie their rumps off and think it's smart, and that is why dealing with them is like dealing with evil children involved in some bizarre game. Their parents never gave them a better moral compass, their teachers and heroes encouraged them in this bad behavior, and in the end, you have these rotten apples spoiling and misdirecting every level of every kind of police and military force and occupying positions of power in the government and the military. If that doesn't make your blood boil and run cold at the same time, it should. These men are self-admitted liars. We have no reason to believe them about anything at all, no matter what they say. We have no reason to trust them and no reason to trust anyone they have trained, because anyone worth keeping in these positions of public trust would leave. Just like David Hackworth, any decent honest man faced with such leadership would just up and go rabbit farming in Australia. So there again we are disserved. Not only are we left with a bunch of pathetic dishonest liars in charge, but because of them no decent man or better leadership can arise from the ranks and replace them and their cankerous version of reality. When you talk about cleaning out Washington, D.C., think mop and bucket. Think soap and water. Think of all the kids you detested in school, the filthy little liars and tattletales, the glib, empty smiles gossiping behind your back, all the gutless wonders egging other people on while they, the perps, skulked around in the background, the schemers constantly stirring the pot and trying to wrangle some advantage for themselves at everyone else's expense. That's what you've got running this country. It isn't going to change until these liars get fired, not eligible for rehire, and all their protégés and hand-picked sycophants, too. Mop and bucket. Root, stem, and leaf. And as for the idea that we need liars and con men and criminals in charge of our police and our military, because that's what other countries have going on, no, that's no excuse and no advantage, either. Here in Alaska we have a famous bar and above the bar hangs a sign, "Welcome to Chilcot Charlie's." We cheat the other guy and pass the savings on to you. Yup. Uh-huh. Yeah, sure, you betcha. That's the kind of help Mr. Trump is relying on to help drain the swamp. And if you don't believe it, listen to these men in their own words and read for yourselves what they've said. This one is from G. Edward Griffin. https://needtoknow.news/2019/06/7-reasons-to-doubt-us-version-of-gulf-of-oman-incident/